Jeff Okudah hurt his brain again, so he's going to be out Thanksgiving.
Thursday.
That hurts a lot, especially against a...
Not really.
Will Harris ran him over.
Alex.
Jerry Jacobs is better at corner.
Alex, we have Stephon Diggs to guard.
It's actually better Jeff's not playing because he'd get torched on national TV by Stephon Diggs.
And J-Mo's back.
Stop being a troll.
Well, he's not playing Thursday.
Stop being a troll.
He's practicing.
Jeff stinks.
Alex is being an absolute troll right now. Your beloved little Kool-Aid drinking 3-game win streak doesn't even happen without his pick six in the Bears game. So cheers to episode 98.
Oh,
98. Cliff Averill.
refreshing Bud Light.
It's Cliff Averill, 98.
I think he's 97.
Kyle Vanderbosch.
I also forgot we were doing that.
Bud Light out of a bottle.
24 ounces of Truly pineapple.
That's disgusting.
It was in my parents' fridge. I don't know where they got it.
Evan, what was yours?
Bush Light.
Oh, nice.
Where'd you get it?
Your fridge.
No. Thank you, Garrett and Carrie.
For those audio listeners, before you see any clips, Alex and Evan are sitting right next to each other tonight. So it's good stuff. Welcome in to the number one sports podcast in the state of Michigan. Today is Wednesday, November 23rd, the biggest bar night in America.
You're not going to my dudes it.
Wednesday,
you
my
do it every
dudes.
time.
It's the biggest bar night in America, my dudes. It's 4:30 p.m. And the last regular season week of college football is here. The season has flown by.
It's feast week. That's what they call it. It's feast week.
In more ways than one. It's feast week. So, what are we going to talk about today? Any guesses? We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions first. The NFL is king, and they're on a 3-game win streak. So we'll do the Giants recap, Lions-Bills preview. Then we'll talk about Michigan's win in football over Illinois, Michigan-Ohio State preview, college football playoff talk right after that. Then we got Indiana-Michigan State football game, Michigan State-Penn State battle for the Land-Grant Trophy. After that, college hoops, just quick thoughts on the recap, some big wins for Michigan State hoops, a terrible loss for Michigan hoops, and then a close win. And then just very quickly, just our initial reactions to the Cade Cunningham injury, because this is not time for Pistons talk, not this week, but he is like the face of Detroit sports, so probably should just at least say something about the guy. But before all that, we'll start with weekly check-ins. The two guys that are together tonight went hunting in the woods. How was your guys' week this past week and weekend?
It was great. So last time we recorded was last Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been over a week. Last
Week and a half.
Sunday. Monday, Tuesday. Trying to think of things that happened before Wednesday. Nothing really, no. I don't think so. Wednesday. Embarked on the journey to the great north of Michigan. Hunting trip with the same guys that we do our golfing trip with. Just a solid time. I was looking and thinking about it today. Just how much of. Just like.
Where's this sentence going to go?
I know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to give off too much information. Why is it so funny? I guess just. I'm going to say...
Talk about your near-death experience in the car.
Oh, my God. Overreaction. Okay, so Wednesday night, we're driving up. Unfortunately, we don't hit our 2 stops that everyone else hits. That's what I was looking forward to the most Wednesday night.
The 2 pit stops on the way.
The 2 pit stops on the way up there. Especially with the guys that I was with in the car.
The casino?
But Michigan... Casino's one of them. Yes, correct. And then it's snowing really bad in spots on the way up there. Like 35 miles per hour on the highway.
Ooh.
Going up 127. 35. Snow out. Blurred. Can't only see like 5 feet in front of you. Okay? I trust every single male in this truck to drive Not a problem. Okay. We are hauling a trailer full of hunting gear, a four-wheeler. Like, this truck
Big trailer
is so weighed down that it, like, I know I couldn't drive it. I don't trust myself driving that.
I'd be nervous.
Just how much crap was in this truck is basically what I'm trying to get at. Okay. We're driving. Driver, Bob, I trust him for my life. And I thought it was totally fine. I'm a calm person when people are driving.
Somebody in the car wasn't.
2 people in the car were not. Passenger.
Is that my dad?
Yep, G.
I was not in this car, by the way.
And the person to my left, friend of the podcast, Cody with a K. And at one point, we're driving, and we swerve a little bit, and we like fishtail back and forth. Okay.
Lost his earpiece. Lost his earpiece.
You gotta mess with him a lot.
I was gonna say.
That's why you're touching your ear.
Yeah. I thought you like are muting us and pausing us every single time.
No, I just push it back in.
Nice.
It's fishtail.
Fishtail. We fishtail a little bit. Out left, out right, out left, and we finally get back together.
Perfect.
Okay, not a problem. I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting bitch seat in the back.
Yep.
So I'm just staring right out the windshield. Not a problem.
Which is what you'd fly out if you guys got in a crash.
Yes. And the person to my left is freaking out.
Oh, no.
He over-exaggerated the situation for the rest of the weekend, thinking like we almost like died in the car.
First thing he said to me when he gets there, dude, we almost died. Like the whole thing almost flipped.
No. Like we weren't even like sideways.
That's what he said. He said the whole trailer was like coming around the side and then flip over. And it was terrible.
No, not that hard. And everyone was quiet for like 4 seconds, and then we all chuckled and laughed and was like, wow, how about that?
It's like the scene from The Hangover when they're going into Vegas.
And then hunting, it snowed basically nonstop.
2 feet. Just nonstop.
I don't mind the snow. I didn't mind it. The wind and then like the whiteout snow when you're sitting and trying to hunt. And then there's like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour period where you're sitting there and it is coming down. Like you get like 4 inches of snow on you if you don't move.
Covered in fresh pow.
It would have been perfect skiing.
But it would have been a little much actually for skiing.
Is that just because like the wind's blowing and knocking all the snow onto you?
It was just thick snow.
Or are you saying like snow is coming down from the sky?
You sit in your chair, it just comes down and you just
from the sky of how much is coming down per second.
Got it.
Complete whiteout. Like you could see like hundreds of yards in front of you, and then the next 2 minutes you can only see like 5 feet in front of you.
Got it.
Brutal.
Great time.
A lot of fun.
Saturday night was good.
A lot of beers were drank. Saturday was fun. Watched football Saturday, only just a morning hunt.
The amount of hunting went down dramatically.
Saturday was like an hour and a half of hunting, and then that was it.
I got to say something. Thursday, okay? Some of the men there overdid themselves Thursday.
Thursday night?
Thursday night. During the day.
Yes.
Okay. So we got there Wednesday night.
Friday, I'm promised, hey, we're going to go out in the morning. We're going to hunt in the morning. We'll just push it back a little bit later. We'll push our morning hunt just back an hour or so.
Okay.
Fine. Not a problem. Get around. Wake up early. I'm like, all right, get around, eat breakfast, grab coffee, sit around. Looking at everybody. I'm like, hey, are we leaving soon? Like, it's time. Like you said last night, like, hey, it's time to go. Like, let's pack up and let's go. Like, no. Give me 20 more minutes. Give me 20 more minutes to get ready.
20 turned into 2 hours.
20 turned into 2 hours. At one point, G was like, hey guys, I think it's time, like, let's get ready. And like, hey, what do you think of, I think he said, what do you say? What do you think of 10:15? That was like 30 minutes, like 45 minutes of prep time.
Lou was like, I need at least 30 minutes.
He asked for an hour.
Every 20 minutes he needed.
It was an hour longer. We didn't get out there until the afternoon. We could have watched Price is Right.
Could have.
Hunting, we did hunt. I did see, actually. We did see 2.
I had to make an obnoxious amount of noise at Evan because he was staring at his phone. and almost missed the deer run in front of us.
Jeez.
Oh, I wasn't going to shoot him
You
anyways.
service up there when you're
But
sitting
we did
out?
see deer.
Oh, yeah.
Great service. It's the same place as the camping trip, Grant.
I know, but I feel like sometimes you're not getting like full service.
You've been there.
Yeah, I'm never in the snowstorm though. Don't know how it affects the towers.
Oh, I had great service.
Were you either of you like really close?
Got fresh venison on Saturday.
We did.
Saturday? Were either of you guys close to pulling the trigger?
To shooting?
No.
I could have if I like wanted to, but the shot was going to be terrible, and I was
It
like,
would be a long shot, and I never really
it was
felt
96
fully interested.
yards from my
This is
spot
a-
to the deer.
And I haven't had a... Oh, no, you had a...
It's a
Yeah,
lack
I-
of like hunter knowledge question, but let's say it's like a really risky shot that let's say the odds you actually hit the deer are like 25%, so pretty low. If you shoot and miss, is that going to mess you up for like several hours because all the deer are going to avoid that area because they know where the sound came from? Or if you shoot and you miss, is it like, oh, you may see one like an hour later if they're just stumble back in?
No, it's not that big of a deal. The only reason... A different reason, I guess, would be you don't want to shoot on a 25% chance if it's a smaller deer not worth taking, because if you wound it and then just runs away, it's even worse, and then it's just going to die like from a coyote or something.
I see.
So that'd be a waste.
So it wasn't like a big enough deer to take the shot.
No.
It was bigger than what we saw.
Yeah. It was bigger than a deer that was consumed.
Oh, you hate to see that.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
the gunshot an hour later, like it wouldn't be. I've had it happen where a buck comes back an hour later after a missed shot or a shot nearby.
All right. I feel like I'd be super antsy with no patience and just want to fire even if it wasn't the best odds. Like I know
You
big
think
part.
that, and then you're like, well, wait, I actually have to shoot this gun. What if I hit it? Then I gotta go like get it.
And like
You gotta weigh your options.
And like on the the classic Sunday morning Michigan hunt shows, they always like, oh, I'm gonna wait this out to see if it walks into a better angle or gets closer my way. So I guess that factors in, but I feel like I would just want to see it and just fire.
Yeah, just all depends on like what kind of area you're sitting in. You just got to set up yourself up in a close quarter situation. So if something runs by, you just fire.
Then you just pull out your TAC combat knife and slit its throat as it runs by.
Sure.
Yeah.
Every hunter's thought about that.
Did you guys from the Snapchats you sent? It seemed like you guys were trying to like stalk your prey and like get really close to it. Was that what we were doing, or were we just sitting more in blinds throughout the day?
What day did we send them?
We followed some tracks.
All the deers that we saw, we got down and we followed them, thinking that we'd jump them or push them into somebody else.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Usually just trying to push to others.
That would be riveting. Like you're on a manhunt, even though it's a deer, but you get down in the ground, like crawling through the snow, and then you see him, and you just come up behind it and take it out.
The deer did get into some deep terrain, so we were not able to continue.
Some thick brush.
Yeah. I guess you're on their turf. In a snowstorm too. All that might level the playing field because then they're overwhelmed as well.
Yeah, we were on their turf. Yeah. What'd you do this weekend, man?
Let's see. Worked. That was big. Saturday. Didn't think I did a ton. The only notes I had written down throughout the week to remind myself is it got really cold here. Like we really hit winter, and to the point where I think like you guys had the big snowstorm. It was not as bad here, but it was more consistent. Like every single day throughout the week there was snow. So I just got into the full routine of you're cleaning off your car twice per day. You wake up, you're cleaning it off. You leave work, you're cleaning it off. And I had like a little, I don't know how long, but like maybe like that long car stick cleaner. And I was like, this isn't going to cut it. Like, I'm not going to like do 3 laps around the car to get everything. So I bought one of those like giant ones where I can just stand on one side and just get it all down. I'm like, I'm not walking around my car 10 times per day just to get to and from work. I'm just going to have one stand on like the driver's side door and just swipe everything down. So that's my plan going forward.
I need one of those. My truck is a little tall. No, I didn't realize it. This is the first time I've had to clear snow off of it. And it was in the Meijer parking lot for 4 days with like 4 feet of snow on top. Took me a good 25, 30 minutes to get all the snow off.
Here's a debate. Do you always make sure you clean the top off? Because sometimes I don't, and I just assume it's going to fly off when I drive.
I'm not talking about the top. I'm talking about my windshield.
Okay, yeah, you got to clean that off for sure.
Yeah, no. I didn't clean the top. And then when I was driving on the road, Someone was behind me. There's a 2-lane road, and the snow was just blowing in their windshield's face, and they got over to the right just because of it. They just came up next to me and seemed annoyed. Not much I can do.
No, can't control the weather.
Nope.
The other things are food related. The meal prep this week. It's gonna be a recurring bit. Cheesy chicken gordita crunches that I'm making.
What?
That I'm making.
Homemade.
Wow, that's gross, dude. Just went to Taco Bell and bought 12 gorditas. I'm just gonna eat them.
Put them in the fridge and just pop one out when I'm hungry. No, I made the ingredients for it. Kind of fraudulent on the crunch part because I just got flour tortillas, so I don't have the inner crunch, but they're still really good.
So they're just chicken tacos?
Yeah. A little bit bigger than like a taco, though, because the tortilla is like bigger than a normal shell.
So just chicken burritos?
But not a burrito. Maybe a flauta. Okay. What about a flauta?
A flauta. A chalupa.
It's ground chicken. Yeah, like a ground chicken. I got the special Taco Bell sauce from the store. Speaking of the store, I went on Saturday night after the football games were done because there wasn't much like in the prime time 6 p.m. spot I cared about. Boy, was it the busiest I've ever seen a grocery store in a while. I know it was Saturday night lean into Thanksgiving week, but I would have thought Saturday night might have been safe. Nope. Everybody was out getting ready for the week. And I just thought, man, Evan would have to leave this store because of how particular he is with how he shops. And it was just, you couldn't move. I had to fully resort to the leave my cart in the middle displays so I could go down the aisles on foot. Because if you went down the aisles with your cart, you're just not making it out because everyone just clogs the row and there's no way to move. And the funniest part was I go down the first aisle, I leave my cart in the middle. I'm away from my cart for maybe a minute and a half. I come back down the aisle, I loop around, do a big U. Worker's standing by my cart. Is this yours? Yep, that's mine. She's like, okay, so sometimes just people leave them, so you never know. I'm like, I can't even breathe in the store. I can't even leave my cart unattended for a minute and a half. And I had things in it, so it wasn't like it was just an empty cart in the middle. So that was annoying. That was a stressful situation, but we made it out. The other two things, quickly. One, new life skill, learn how to crack an egg with one hand. So that's big, big development. It actually works better. I actually break the yolk less cracking with one hand than I used to with two. So it was a big development. I'm not super smooth with it yet because I just started, but it was nice to watch a YouTube video. It's like, oh, that seems easy enough. Turns out it was as easy as the guy made it seem. So I will be doing that going forward.
I don't know if I've ever broken the yolk, though, cracking it with two hands.
I haven't either. Must be a personal problem. Not that I can think of.
Like when you
crack
make
eggs
it
often.
When you crack it and you open it into the pan, it's never like the yolk is just never accidentally broke when it hits the pan or coming out. Like your fingernail never clips it when you're opening it and whatnot.
No. I've seen my mom break it several times. My dad.
You guys are
under the bus.
You guys are magicians then, because I know I broke them plenty of times.
Just get close to the pan, Grant. It's gonna break if you drop it from 20 feet.
I think it's more just so like my fingernails are like if you crack it on the side of the thing too hard, like it can
cut your fingernails, dude. That's disgusting.
I do.
That's why you always crack it on a flat surface, Grant.
Yeah. But then
always
sometimes
crack it on a flat surface.
But then the mess is kind of gross if some of the yolk just kind of squirts out on the counter. Like you don't want to be cleaning that up every single time.
Why do you have to say it like that?
It's just what happens.
The yolk squirts out on the counter.
Oh yeah,
drips out.
Dirty.
No, the last thing was
still did more.
I was craving dessert so bad, and I baked for the first time in my entire life a cookie mix, and my cookies turned out atrocious.
How do you up a cookie mix?
No, I've seen a lot of people bake bad.
No, man, it was really bad.
The cookies I brought from my grandma that were actual potato chips. Like people can mess up cookies pretty easily.
It was like, first of all, I was stunned at the lack of ingredients it takes to make cookies. All it said was mix this mix in a bowl with 6 tablespoons of butter and 1 egg. I was like, okay, that just seems way too easy. So I did that. And
How have you never made cookies before?
I just don't.
Mom, privileged.
No, I just don't. I'm not a huge cookie guy.
You're Zach Wilson. Oh my God.
The defense I did not let the defense down this week. No, I just not a huge cookie guy. I always just prefer ice cream, and I'm not making homemade ice cream. So my desserts are usually bought. I usually buy ice cream.
Why didn't you just go buy ice cream then? I'm not sure why you made cookies.
I didn't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't even like cookies. How'd you get the cookie mix?
Cookies are great.
Marissa
You left for the cookie.
It was Marissa, yeah, via
Leftovers.
her. So I had it.
Shocking. Chop, Marissa.
What
No,
kind of cookies?
Peanut butter mix.
Oh, goes up. Did you put them in too long?
Yeah. So Evan, what I did
They were
was
probably huge.
the problem was I kind of knew like when you put the cookies on the cooking sheet, you want them to be like really small. Kind of slipped my brain from watching my mom do it. I made them more like a hockey puck hamburger patty style.
So they expanded to like 6 feet.
No, they didn't expand that much, but like I put them in for the 8 to 10 minutes, and I took them.
You can put them in longer. Oh my god.
That's what it said. So I took them out, and like they just like
You're
fell
stupid.
apart. They fell apart, and then
They're probably soft.
the real like couldn't even pick it up. They'd all fall apart. And that's why I got to cook them longer. And then what happened was I eventually took them out like more minutes later, and then kind of also forgot that once they are out of the oven, sitting on like resting, they're still cooking, and they firm up then. So then by the time I got them to where they were able to eat, I ate like 2 or 3, and they didn't taste good because they were overcooked. But then I came back for like seconds, and they were just like hard as a hockey puck because like they kept cooking, and I was like, well, I just completely messed this process up.
So you threw them all away.
I threw at least like 7 to 8 of them away. I ate 3. What I did was I just really mixed them with milk to soften them up, so that helped. Yeah, no,
Not a bad option.
it was disgusting, but it's only up from here. It's only up from here. You can't get worse than that.
It's the least surprising thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, no. I knew this was the reason I had it baked before, and you got to start somewhere. Lions 31, Giants 18 in MetLife Stadium. One person on this show said
Grant's a wizard.
3 turnovers would be forced. And 3 turnovers were forced.
He's frozen.
I froze?
Gross. He's frozen.
Yeah.
No. Back?
Oh.
Back?
Yeah, we're back. 3 turnovers would be forced.
Oh, did my audio just catch up in your ears?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so weird when that happens. Okay, I think we're back now. I don't really have... Do you guys have any thoughts from this game? Your main thoughts from the Lions win? The current state of this Lions team with the Kool-Aid being drank?
The Giants are frauds.
Well, we knew this.
So Lions not good. Giants just frauds.
I mean, Grant and I predicted this win. Evan, of course you didn't, but
I can't blame Evan
that's
for
0-2 the last 2 weeks for you.
Good.
So yeah, I'm not surprised. Giants suck.
I'm a little surprised on how we did it, though.
domination.
It was a little too easy.
Not the turnovers. Stopping probably arguably like a top 5 running back.
Yes, thankfully they
In
did
that
for
way.
my fantasy team.
No wonder I lost in fantasy. That just clicked again.
Daniel Jones did have like a couple of his long runs, but I mean, I would let Daniel Jones run for 150 yards and Saquon Barkley run for 100.
Danny Dimes also threw for over 3 bills.
Yeah, I mean Daniel Dimes is basically like Lamar Jackson, but I mean, so what? You can't really stop that guy.
No, you can't.
And we got him on 8 targets, so he needs more targets now.
It feels like he gets 6 targets in the first 2 drives every time,
Correct.
and then we never see him again.
Yes.
Our opening scripts are sexual. How good we are to start the games.
Oh, yeah.
We just know Ben Johnson knows what he's doing, at least in the first drive, and then usually goes from there, good or bad.
Yeah, Jared Goff also great game manager. He's doing everything right these days.
If you're not turning
You
the
see
ball
his
over,
last 3 games.
solid.
He's won on the road outside 2 games in a row.
But you see his last 3 games, he's thrown exactly 26 passes in each of them.
No,
The last 3 ones.
he only threw for like $150, but got it done.
165.
Good. Remembering my name.
QBR of 65.
Not good.
0 touchdowns.
I saw his. I don't know what EPA stands for. EPA per play, but Jared Goff is higher at that than Justin Herbert to this point in the season.
Efficiency passer, efficiency
Efficiency
action?
per attempt.
Oh, I think it's like something points added.
Mm.
Estimated points added.
Oh, come on, Excel guy, give me some
expected points added. It's used to try and define how many points a player or play is worth to their team. So
Justin Fields is less than Jared Goff.
Justin Herbert.
No, Justin Herbert. So
I was gonna say Justin Fields. That's a lie.
Jared Goff is just a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. If you are an analytics nerd,
analytics, yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but
stats might.
As Wyatt said earlier in our group chat, stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie. Stats don't lie.
My main takeaways were: one, shout out Dan Campbell for listening again and deciding this time to take the 3 points early on the road and not going for it. I think it was like 4th and 2 where he's gone for it almost all year. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take the points on the road at MetLife. Let's get up 3-0, which I think is just a great morale boost because nothing feels worse than you move down the field. It sucks to come away with 3 points instead of 7, but it sucks even worse to come away with a 0 instead of 3.
Yeah. I mean, his reasoning like behind it this morning, listening to the radio, is like they asked him like, oh, do you like kick the field goal depending on like the opponent or situation or whatnot? And like that. And his reasoning was like, no, we think about ourselves first. Like we do that based off of how we're feeling.
Momentum. Dan's a momentum guy.
Yeah, but you had the exact same situation in the Giants and the Packers guy. Why did you have to like? That's what I'm saying.
He just goes,
like if he flat out and just told us like
he settled for 3 2 weeks in a row, first drive. In normal go for it attempts. He's starting to become consistent.
No, didn't we go for it on the 4th down and it was a touchdown to our tight end, so it worked out that time?
No.
Chicago,
we kicked a field goal on the first drive of the game. Last week we kicked a field goal on the first drive of the game. Green Bay, we had a chance to kick a field goal on the first drive of the game and we went for it. So we're starting to find consistency from Dan.
I think he just goes, like, how do I feel in the moment, man? Like, if that third cup of coffee's just hitting my neck vein, then I'm going to go for it, man. But if I'm kind of mellow, we're just going to settle for 3 points, man.
Listen, man. Listen.
Listen, man. That neck vein is going to pop out of his neck if they win it this Thursday. And those post-game locker room speeches, dude, it makes me nervous for him sometimes. What are you doing with your mic?
Just looking at my coffee guy.
Okay.
Now he has to edit it.
Aleem McNeil, huge game.
Dog.
Monster
game, like Aaron Donald impact level game. He's just everywhere.
He's good at football.
Shout out to him.
What we've been waiting for.
And baseball.
Yeah.
I saw this stat from NFL on CBS. I'm guessing it's true because it's from NFL on CBS. Can you guys name the only player in the entire NFL this season to have 3?
Oh, yep, I saw it. He's on the Ravens now. It's
what?
Roquan.
3+ sacks.
Roquan Smith.
3+ sacks and 3+ takeaways.
Yeah, it's Roquan Smith.
Is it
Roquan Smith? Yeah, it's the Ravens guy.
The NFL on CBS tweet I saw said it's Aiden Hutchinson. So
and him.
Oh, did that happen after our game?
I don't know. I saw one where it was just those 2 players. In like an identical stat that you're
from NFL
like stating.
On CBS as well.
Dude, I swear.
Maybe they put it out and they
backlash and they deleted it.
Or like fact check, but the NFL on CBS tweet they put out during the game: 3+ sacks and 3+ takeaways. Only player, not just rookie in the NFL, is Aiden Hutchinson this season. He has the same amount of picks as the fanboy of the media, Sauce Gardner. So, I mean, he should win Defensive Rookie of the Year if the vote ended today. We'll see how the rest of the season progresses. So, glad. Why are your eyes got big, Alex? You disagree with my take? You're still out on Aiden Hutchinson?
Rude chop on Sauce Gardner. Just because he doesn't have 20 interceptions, he's still very, very, very good.
Yeah, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say bad about Sauce Gardner?
He said media loving Sauce Gardner. He just kind of chopped
he's in New York.
No, the national media loves Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, with a little suck-off chop right there.
They do, though. That's not Sauce. That's at the media.
They're obsessed with this kid. Winning streak in the NFC.
Facts. That's really all from this game. Jeff Okudah hurt his brain again, so he's going to be out Thanksgiving. Thursday. That hurts a lot, especially against a...
Not really.
Will Harris ran him over.
Alex.
Jerry Jacobs is better at corner.
Alex, we have Stephon Diggs to guard.
It's actually better Jeff's not playing because he'd get torched on national TV by Stephon Diggs.
And J-Mo's back.
Stop being a troll.
Well, he's not playing Thursday.
Stop being a troll.
He's practicing.
Jeff stinks.
Alex is being an absolute troll right now. Your beloved little Kool-Aid drinking 3-game win streak doesn't even happen without his pick 6 in the Bears game. So just piss off, Alex.
You can't be liking Jeff Okudah this week. He's a buck.
What does Jamal Williams and Ladainian Tomlinson have in common?
Jeff Okudah would pick off Josh Allen if he played in this game.
Right. Because he has how many interceptions in his career?
At least 2.
And he's just going to get another one.
Yeah, Josh Allen is reckless.
The second best quarterback in the league.
Josh Allen is reckless in the red zone.
Second best QB in the league. Nope, not a debate. Second best.
Yeah, you can still be good and throw picks. No one goes with no picks.
Jeff wouldn't pick off Patrick.
Now, to that game, yes, he would. To that game, Lions versus Bills. Bills are 9.5-point favorites.
9.5.
It was 10 last time I saw it. So
9.5. Over under 54.5 points. It's a weird start time, 12:30 p.m. on CBS. Who's calling this game?
Oh, it's Jim and Tony.
It's Jim and Tony.
Gross.
Hello, friends.
Any thoughts you guys have on this game? What's the pulse? The reports today that it might be the most rowdy environment since the Monday Night Football game against Chicago in 2011.
It's going to be
A lot of Bills
crazy
fans,
loud.
You got to get the lead.
but-
Have to get a lead.
Got to score in the first drive to get that place going.
So if you won the coin toss, would you elect to receive?
Yeah, I put it on him.
I want the
Yeah.
ball in the second half.
I want the ball first.
No. Kick.
As long as you have a great scripted drive where you're guaranteeing a touchdown.
Kick.
Honestly,
You're facing the number one defense.
I would activate Jameson Williams an hour before the game, and I would run a trick play deep ball to him first play.
He's
and if
got one
scored,
knee.
Oh my God, the place would
Evan,
go bananas.
He's got to
He
at
doesn't
least
have
have
one
2
knee.
knees. He's got to have 2 knees by this point. It's been 10 months.
He's been healthy for 2 months. He's just chilling. He's just pissed that he hasn't played yet.
I actually think he has just been chilling, and they're like, we're not going to rush you back because we've been bad. And now they're good, and they're like, well,
All
just start it now. Yeah.
When does he have to be activated by? Just right
21
before
days.
Evan, isn't like ACL injuries in the modern era, they don't need like almost a full year off, do they? Or they still do?
It all depends on the human being, but modern days, it's like 8 to 10 month recovery.
Well, it hasn't been a year yet, Grant.
It's pretty damn close.
He did it at the SEC championship.
11 and a half.
Oh, it was the national championship.
But if
game,
Evan
wasn't it?
says
Or was the
it-
SEC championship,
It was
game?
the natty. But if Evan says 8, then he's already hit 8 easily. And he's a dog, so we know his body heals faster.
He's ready.
Do I think we'll see him at all? No.
No.
He'll be, I think
Not this week.
No.
Or next
I guess-
week.
So will he
Well,
not
he's
be
got
in-
an extra week and a half until next game, so he might play next week.
I think he might play next week.
I think he does.
Dan Campbell said on the radio, it's about like progression. Like they want him to seem like in practice and like throwing bodies at him. Quote.
Yeah,
They want to abuse him in practice and see if he can do it.
Yes. And it's all about like his body responding. Just because he's practicing day in and day out, you have to see like how his knee and how his body is responding to that wear and tear.
Lame.
I agree. Lame.
Predictions.
but do its bets. No, I have a nice little stat for this game that if you
God.
want
Don't
to keep
try to get people to drink Kool-Aid.
if you want to drink Kool-Aid, this is the stat you would tell yourself. In the last 4 games the Bills have played, they have surrendered 152 yards on the ground per game. And they've given up 5.2 yards per carry in the last 4 games as an average.
But DeAndre
And what-
Swift forgot how to run the ball.
He's scared
But
of contact. He has bad shoulder.
Justin Jackson took his powers and ran for like 8 yards per carry.
And Jay Swag Daddy is still good.
And he's redeeming himself from that
He
goal
lost us
line,
the Dallas game.
that glumble.
1 fumble in his career.
It cost us.
He also ran into an absolute brick wall on that play.
Now, to balance out those good rushing stats, both of our starting guards are out this game, which is a problem in the NFL. You don't want
We
to
haven't had one of them for a while.
I would argue Evan Brown has been just as good, if not better, than Vaitai. So losing him is like
Who are
losing a
we
starting
playing?
guard.
Is Dan Skipper moving over to guard?
He subbed in for the Giants game. It was Dan Skipper that came in first.
Dan Skipper's all right.
Yeah. I guess you would just want at least one of the guards to be there, so it's not like both those. Like poor Frank Ragnow, he better be just dialed in this game to figure out what's going on next to him.
Buffalo has 2 defensive ends out.
Yeah,
Von Miller still playing.
Yeah,
but they usually
he's gonna abuse Taylor Decker.
Evan,
Get the ball
Taylor
out quick,
Decker.
Jared.
Taylor Decker hasn't given up a QB pressure in the last 4 games. I'm not saying that you need
it's a
to
heartbreaking stat for Evan.
No, it's not.
apologize.
How many
but
holding
I'm just
penalties do
saying.
you have the last 4 games?
0.
I don't know.
Full starts.
0. 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
1.
I just completely made that up. It's been the last 2 weeks, but he's blocked 64 times, 0 pressures. That's a pretty good ratio.
pretty
You
good.
can't get better than that.
And no holds.
Cannot
according to
confirm
me.
from this tweet. This is from Kyle Menke. I'm going to give him
Nope,
credit.
I
He
just
found
said
the
it.
stat. So, not saying you have to forgive him, Evan, but maybe he's playing his best ball right now, and he'll be okay.
Ever since he had that comment about it's getting, what did he say? He said it's getting
Spicy.
exhausting or whatever about losing.
So, prediction time for the game of the year.
In the NFL.
The game of the day.
The game of the century in the NFL.
I think this game will be the most exciting game on Thanksgiving Day. There's going to be points
Cowboys and
scored in
Giants
this
is
game.
going to be most watched.
Yeah, but I think
I
that's
just
going to
hope
be
we
a
keep it
snooze
close.
fest. And remember,
Vikings Patriots at night.
we talked about this. Dan Campbell was built for Thanksgiving. We still can picture him eating a turkey leg after defeating the Bills with his hat sideways. Like, I can see that in my head.
Dan Campbell against teams. Oh, never mind. Bills are 7-3.
Yeah.
Dan
Sounds
Campbell
right.
against teams 5 games or more above 500 is
Cover the
undefeated.
spread.
And the Bills,
Undefeated, straight up.
Well, that means he's undefeated in the spread too.
the Bills have been crazy traveling wise. They did only beat the Browns by 7, but they had to fly into Detroit. They flew
Did they
back.
fly back?
They flew back to Buffalo because they wanted to spend time with
Why?
their family. They want to see their families on holiday week.
Evan.
And then they're flying right back to Detroit. So they really are on the move a lot in a short amount of time.
I don't
That could
think
bode
that's a
well.
factor.
I think it is a factor.
I think it does. It's human travel, Alex. That matters.
Bills 31, Lions 27.
Wow, tight one. I have Bills 30, Lions 24.
Tight one.
I got Bills 25, Lions 22.
Tight one.
Tight one. So Lions cover easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably score late though, and then don't get the onside kick. So it's
No,
like
I have
looks-
Josh Allen scoring a triumphant game-winning touchdown and Tony Romo. Oh, Jim! Jim, did you see that? That's why he's the best quarterback in the league. Buffalo Wild Wings. Beer Wing Sports.
Okay, we pivot to college football now. We will start with the Michigan-Illinois game. Michigan survives and advances.
Sweatfest.
Michigan 19, Illinois 17. The first real time I would say this season where it was in my head accepted that they weren't going to win a game, and it was over and they lost. Multiple times watching it, I was like, wow, this is the play that they're done. And I even got to the point around halftime after the Corum injury when I was on full tilt that I was like, you know what? Maybe this loss is what they need going into Ohio State to get some more motivation. Like, was fully coping with a loss, but they squeak it out because first and foremost, Jake Moody is now a legend in Michigan football. The best kicker probably in Michigan
Don't speak
football.
too soon. Do not speak too soon.
I know. I hate saying this.
in Columbus.
I hate saying this before the big game, but he's remarkable in college football. Where like college kickers just crumble every week, and this kid just nails in a pretty gusty wind in pretty bad, not great conditions. He chopped the SEC as well, so shout out him for doing that in the post game, saying it's not easy to kick in sunny, no wind areas, or it is easy. But shout out to him. I don't know. Did you guys have anything to get off your chest from this game?
Nope. Don't care.
Thanks, Alex.
JJ stinks.
I saw a bunch of Michigan fans on the old Twitter sphere saying that, yeah, JJ's not.
He's
the
not
answer.
him.
People are already giving up.
Bring back Jake Rudock.
So I think the alarming thing is he's been regressing since middle of the season.
But there's
Where,
a lot
like,
of meat left on that bone, Grant, that he's ready to unleash.
The kid does deliver.
Loser comment.
He delivers awesome quotes. Like,
He's a weirdo.
What was
He's
his one?
Jim.
his
As in
one.
20
War in the
20-year-old.
garden and garden of
Yeah,
the war.
I texted the Michigan chat. I said, which is
the mighty Michigan man has been changed to
twice.
some Moody Boobies.
It was
Moody's
Moody.
Booties.
It was Moody's Boobies, and now it's just beat Ohio State for this week, and then we'll see what happens after.
And then we'll go back
Maybe
to
it'll
the
be-
mighty Walmart Wolverines.
Maybe it'll be like cancel the season after this week, or like Big Ten championship.
Good
I don't
luck
know.
to Jim Harbaugh as the Indianapolis Colts head coach. That's gonna be
That
the title of
name of the chat.
Arizona Cardinals head coach Jim Harbaugh.
In that, I sent that warrior in the garden quote. It was like, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And I said, this guy, like Jim Harbaugh, has just turned JJ McCarthy into a younger Jim Harbaugh.
He brainwashed him.
They kiss.
They're in a cult.
They kiss.
They definitely kiss in a treehouse.
Okay.
Oh. Socks.
Grant-
It stunk so bad. Anyways, to JJ, it's a very valid thing. One of the bigger storylines going into the game this weekend is it's like a mix of sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks horrendous. He made like the throws he had to make to survive, but he missed some easy ones earlier in the game. Like 2 back-to-back touchdown plays would have been to Loveland. But from the first one, he didn't see he was open. In the second one, he overthrew him. So that hurts. But then also it keeps going back to this theme of the wide receiver play. Outside of Ronnie Bell, there's nothing. Like I'm at the point where I just need to see Darius Clemens play against Ohio State, and I don't really care about who's been there longer, who's earned it, who run blocks better. I just need to see someone that can go up and catch a football in traffic. Like there was a play where JJ thought Illinois was offsides, thought he had a free shot. Turns out it was not a free shot. He throws it up to Andrew Anthony. He makes the right play. Just went right. Not even a drop, like just went right through his hands. He didn't even get his hands on the ball, and it almost hit him in the face. So it's just like
Drop.
Yeah. But like even worse than a drop is what I'm saying. Like most coordinated D1 players can get their hands on the football and maybe they don't survive the ground. It didn't even touch his hands. It just went right through them.
Yeah, it turns out Michigan State cooled on him.
So
We didn't want him.
but it's just crazy. Like, how do you go from last year where he's making plays to this year? I don't know what has happened, but it's
He
time
plays
for
in one game.
it's time for Darius. No, he plays in every single game for Michigan.
I'm
this
saying
year.
he made plays in one game.
I mean, he caught passes after that game. He just didn't have that type of game. But I don't know how you go from that to this. So it's like, I need to see Darius Clemens play because as bad as JJ McCarthy has looked at times, he's getting zero help from his receiving core. Zero help.
Some people are saying it's the scheme fit.
Michigan's not made
how
to throw
they're-
the ball.
Yeah, but they're saying like how your scheme, your passing game scheme, and your route tree combo or your passing plays for the easier verbiage is just
Yeah.
horrendous. So the wide receivers aren't getting the separation like other programs are generating.
No, some
You
of
have
that is-
talent. These guys are talented. It's
But
just
that's-
I would say it's more scheme than anything.
I'm not the one to just, I don't want to crap on kids before the biggest game of their lives. There's really only one receiver that I've seen play on this football field this year that I think is actually talented. Like, I don't think a lot of the guys
That
on
was
the
Keon
field.
Coleman.
That was Keon in the big house.
Keon's very talented. I'm saying on Michigan's team. Like, Ronnie
okay,
Bell
sorry.
is the only guy that I think does anything. Like, it's bad
Cortana
when
clip that.
it's bad when your best receiver is your running back, and Donovan Edwards is the best overall pass catcher on your entire football team. So, but we don't know about the freshman because we haven't seen him play. So
But you're
yes,
11-0.
but you're 11-0. So there's a mix. Evan, your point is valid. Like some of the schemes, like the routes are ran where they're kind of in the same spot. So that's never good. I don't know if that's miscommunication or the scheme, but like they have enough play action passes that just get you open by how often they run that it has to get figured out. And people have to go make plays on the football to help out your quarterback. Besides that, the only other things from the Illinois game, a couple of things I'll just run through. I felt happy for Ronnie Bell. Great story for that kid. Tore his ACL last year on a punt return. AJ Henning out this game. He had to return punts, and he had a massive 30-yard punt return when the team needed the most to get them into field goal range when they weren't moving the football, and they were able to connect on a field goal on one of the crucial drives in that game. So that was a cool come full circle moment. The bad for Michigan. They scored on the first drive of the game. Their opening drives are similar to the Lions, where they seem to always go well. They did not score a touchdown after that. It was just consecutive field goals to pull this one out. Defensively, which looked not great, they had 0 sacks and 0 tackles for loss. So you have to get more pressure in the backfield. You're going to need more of that against Ohio State coming up. But really, it was a good win in the sense they pulled it out. Like you never want to lose. But the Corum injury, in my opinion, really did shake up this game. I just pulled stats from it to kind of see how the game changed. So when it happened, there was less than 2 minutes in the first half. They were driving. They were in the red zone. His run that he got hurt on was got them inside the 10 for either a second or third and short coming up. They're up 7-3 at that point. He fumbles, so they don't get any points that drive. So it would have been 10-3 at the worst, or potentially 14-3 going into half, which is par for the course for them. And I think they pull away because in his one half of play, he had 20 touches, 147 yards for 7.5 yards per touch of the football. And then in the second half, as a unit between walk-on Isaiah Gash, freshman CJ Stokes, they had 19 carries for 45 yards. So I think they win this game pretty comfortably if he doesn't go out. But it is still alarming, that's your whole team. And that factors heavily into next week. But those are my only real thoughts on the Michigan-Illinois game. It's just good to survive it, especially with how the college football playoff is shaping up. You couldn't afford to lose that game. But yeah, I guess we move into the big game this Saturday. Michigan-Ohio State. The spread right now, I believe, I looked at it last night, is -7.5 Ohio State. Over-under is 56.5. Noon on Fox. Announcers, I think we know.
Gus and Joel. Jinx.
And Alex's neighbor, Jenny Taft, will be on this call.
No, Jenny's in Qatar.
Oh, wow.
Jenny's they shipped her over there.
I saw during the U.S. game she was there.
You guys want some
Jenny
good...
is my neighbor.
They're doing Jenny dirty.
I've seen her with her husband walking her dog.
So now it's confirmed.
It's confirmed. I actually know which one it is. Super creepy.
All right, that's a little creepy. Let's pump the brakes there. So now you guys want a little weird mojo dating back to last year for this game?
Don't care.
Evan?
Sure, I'm always down.
You like good mojo. The spread of this game last year, OSU -7.5 as well.
Oh.
So you know what that means.
Doesn't mean anything, just interesting. The over-under was 63.5. So now the over-under has come down from there. What are you guys' thoughts on this game as we head into Saturday?
Not here. Sorry. Go ahead.
Pause, we ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Game in Columbus. Is Grant laughing?
No.
Oh, my bad. Game. Okay, if you break this game down, everyone's going to say, okay, it's about the run game. Yes, like you guys have stated in our group chat, it is about up front, the front seven. Okay, Ohio State's front seven has been shaky at times, but they've also been dominating at times in certain situations. I think they're a better play from in front seven, as when they can just blitz whenever they feel like and just pin your ears back and go get the quarterback, like you've seen at the end of Penn State game, kind of towards the end of the Maryland game most recently. I still think they do struggle in their gap scheme run fits. Maryland was able to run the ball pretty well on them. Penn State was able to run the ball very well on them. They are talented. I think they're going to throw the kitchen sink at Michigan. However, running backs, like you said, iffy. I still think it all is going to come down to the quarterbacks now in this situation. Michigan's pass rush isn't as good as last year. And I think this game, obviously, I think Ryan Day's taking it more personally this year since of Harbaugh's comments last year.
Third base.
So I think it does come down to who's going to make the biggest throw or who's going to make more consistent throws. It's either between Stroud and JJ.
I think that it fully depends on game script. If Michigan falls behind early, I think they're total because I don't know how they're going to keep up if Ohio State got an early lead because they can't really throw the ball. As you said, they have a bunch of no-talent wide receivers. Your words, not mine.
I did not say that.
Your words. What is the status of Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum?
So, great question, Alex. Corum, no one knows. I can tell you what I've been trying to gather before the Illinois game, which I don't remember what opponent that was, which is bad of me, but before the Illinois game, there was smoke that when Donovan Edwards got hurt, that he might have a broken bone in one of his hands, and it might be a soft cast situation, but they think if needed, like he could have suited up against Illinois, but they had a healthy Corum going in, so they did not. I believe he's supposed to play, but I don't know what his catching ability is going to be like or availability if he does have a broken bone in one of his hands.
And you think Corum's playing?
I think he's going to give it a go. He was cleared by doctors to play in the second half of Illinois. He took 1 carry for 5 yards. They yanked him. He was trying to warm up at halftime.
Pain management.
He couldn't cut at all. Dave Burkett retweeted one of those like
Davey's
sports
working in on Michigan football now.
Yeah, like one of those sports injury doc accounts, like that's verified that they watch the videos and they
verified now.
Try to give. Okay, but they were like an OG one. They tried to give diagnosis. They thought it was something in the MCL hyperextension range that would cause him to miss this game. Like that was their prediction that he wouldn't be able to play. So I don't know
get off
how his recovery has gone.
I see. Very interesting.
Oh man, we are in a laggy.
I'm just trying to pretend like I know what he's saying.
Are we back now?
We're back.
Okay. Whew. Yeah.
Injury's not very good. That's what I take from that.
Connection's unstable. It's on us. It's our end.
It said. It said that, like the sports injury doctors said, they would predict after seeing the video and the fallout that he'd miss the game. So I think it is like pretty severe. I think he's going to give it a go. I was looking into.
But I don't know. He's not going to be his normal self,
which is a huge factor. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
if
that hurts.
Can they give Toradol shots in college football? Are they able to give Toradol shots? Because I was like, well, if they can do that,
you can do anything as long as no one knows.
Yeah, who would stop them?
I don't know. I was Googling articles. Like I know Toradol is like a very controversial thing in the NFL that people use, and like college teams.
They do all sorts of illegal shit in the locker room.
2010, they did that in college football. I couldn't find any new ones if they still do it. But if there was ever time to give a guy a Toradol shot, this would be the game. Which I've been told you can do like anything once you get a Toradol shot. It like takes away all the pain.
What is it, like a boost of adrenaline or something?
It's like Vicodin times like 1,000. Like it just takes away all the pain.
That sounds very illegal.
But NFL teams,
an injection of Vicodin.
Yes,
times 1,000.
NFL team, like just look up Toradol. It got investigated because of how like strong it is. But like teams in the NFL used to use that all the time in the early 2000s to play through pain.
Nice. I think if no Corum and an injured, broken hand Donovan Edwards with no pass catching ability, you guys are super effed.
Yeah. All my analysis of this game is assuming those guys are even like 80%. If they are not and they can't really go that much, Michigan has no shot in this game.
I mean, you're going to have to be cleaning onto the table and like your chair, like just pregame of just trying to get insight on like warm-ups and like
how does he look?
It's going to be a stressful 11.
It's going to be stressful just to get up to the game, not counting the game itself.
Because
12, you'll be here.
Because as you guys have seen, at least in he did it a lot in the Michigan State game. Like Blake Corum's game.
Making me brunch.
No, I'm not making you brunch.
Blake Corum's game is predicated on jump cuts. Like that's just what Blake Corum does is these quick, shifty jump cuts. And if he can't do that, then he's cooked. Like what is he able to do other than just hit the holes that are made? But against Ohio State, who's going to be raring at the mouth to prove they're not soft, he's going to have to make people miss to get big plays. And if he can't do it, then I don't really know. I almost think like, yes, he's big, but Edwards is also massive because as we saw against Michigan State and other teams, like putting Donovan Edwards on an Eichenberg and making him make moves in the passing game is very key for this Michigan team to pick up first downs. So you really need both. It's not like, if one plays, you're fine. You really need both to at least be like 80% or more in this game.
Yeah, they're your whole team.
And it's not to mention starting left guard Trevor Keegan still has not come back to play. Schoonmaker has been out the last 2 games, and he's probably our 4th most reliable offensive player behind the 2 running backs, Ronnie Bell, Schoonmaker, and then our best defensive player, Mike Morris, has sat out the last 2 games. He's supposed to play, but again, it's just not good. When your best defensive player and best offensive player are potentially really banged up, not going to play, going into the horseshoe. It's not great. And I know people will be like, oh, well, it's a running back, but like he's in the Heisman consideration for a reason. If Ohio State fans, if you just took away CJ Stroud for this game, I think you'd feel pretty bad going into kickoff. Like what's going to happen? That's how I feel.
Take away Kenneth Walker from Michigan State's team, and they're horrendous. So
yeah,
it's pretty much the same type of thing.
Yeah, and so that's why the whole QB versus RB debate gets thrown out the window, in my opinion, because like you saw in the Illinois game how much he meant to Michigan. They just couldn't move the ball without Blake Corum in the game.
Yeah, they might be doomed.
Other things outside that, again, this is what I'm about to say is all considering he's okay. The beautiful thing about this game is that styles make fights, as they say. This is just a classic air it out, passing attack, explosive versus a gritty run team. Like that in itself makes this game interesting, and kind of where the keys happen. The two keys to the game I have, if I have to pinpoint anything that I'm really dialed into, are one, red zone touchdown percentage. You have to cash in. As you saw last year from Michigan, that's why they were able to win. They were 100% in the red zone. They scored 6 touchdowns, didn't have to throw it in the end zone, ran it in 6 different times. You probably will have to do something similar to that in this game unless your defense just plays out of their mind, which I think you can bank on. Ohio State's going to score several times. And then 2 is rush defense versus OSU. This might be kind of like a little in the weeds take, but through watching this history, this rivalry game, when Ohio State has that run game going in this game and in any game, they're unstoppable because their offense throwing the ball is already so good. Like when they have the Zeke Elliott's, the J.K. Dobbins of the world, and they're getting 5 yards a carry, you are so off balance. What helped Michigan last year is we talked about Ohio State actually ran the ball pretty well last year. They just gave up on it, which again, this is a big thing for Ryan Day, testing him on his play calling. And Michigan was just able to pin their ears back at points in that game because they knew Ohio State was not going to test them anymore in the run game. But if Ohio State, who also has running back injuries of their own, if they are not getting 4 yards a carry, if they're getting 2 yards a carry, Michigan will have a chance. Because I think with Corum and Edwards, Michigan can move the ball pretty well between the 20s. They've done that all year. They can move it through the 20s. They can run it. They can get you to 3rd and short and convert. But what happens when it gets down to the 30 yards and in? Are they able to pass it in? Are they able just to run it in? If they're kicking field goals, you're probably going to lose. Much like Maryland did. Maryland had to settle for 2 field goals on their first 2 drives. Ends up costing them a chance to win the game late in the game. Let's see. What else? I also said it feels like Michigan's defense never forces fumbles and never recovers them. So if there was ever a time to change that, it'd be this game. They just simply do not force fumbles. So my eyes will be dialed in on this game looking for any ball calls that I can have. So hopefully we get a couple of those. And then uniform wise,
I have to watch it with him. This is gonna be.
Are you watching it here or are you watching with your dad?
At your place.
Nice.
Don't
great content.
Smirk like that.
I gotta go find some Ohio State stuff to wear.
Ryan, dial him up.
The rumor is jersey wise. This is bad if you're a Michigan fan. The rumor is
white.
We are wearing all white jersey, white pants. So we're cooked.
White helmet.
White jersey, white pants. That is 2016 all over again. It's their worst combo. It's just
Grant, what would happen if like that same situation happened in 2016? Like I'm saying like same situation. I'm saying like it comes down to a spot and they're like, yep, first down, here we go.
And Ohio State wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wouldn't see anyone the rest of the day.
Would you would get up and leave to your own house?
No, I'd probably just sit there and like be quiet for
and then you would watch
while.
The varsity game because the JV
dial
game plays at
to the
noon.
Land Grant Trophy.
It would just be so gross if that robbery happens again in the horseshoe. I hope LeBron's not at this one. I don't want to see his face.
Oh my God.
He is. They're breaking out brand new LeBron cleats for it.
I already saw that. It made me throw up.
He's got basketball. How the hell did he go to the last one?
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
He was in Cleveland.
Right.
They don't play
Is that?
guys.
I would like to quickly read. I texted Wyatt gave his in the chat already.
You want to read Wyatt's thoughts?
I'll read Wyatt's thoughts, and I also texted him and Ryan to see if they had more thoughts. And Ryan, a listener of the show, gave some Ohio State thoughts that are pretty juicy. So I'm excited to read those.
You trust that Bronco to give you insight?
Here's Wyatt's. Like I said before, it's going to come down to which defense can make the other team one-dimensional. Evan, you kind of touched on that. The Illinois game is giving me false hope. I also think it's going to come down to who wins in the trenches because like last year, Stroud threw for 400 yards, but we lost because we got bullied up front on both ends. Wasn't impressed with Michigan's offensive line against Illinois front seven. However, that's just looking at it without any regards to how good Illinois front seven is stat-wise. So hand up, he admitted that. But again, false hope. So Wyatt's pretty dialed into like Michigan or Ohio State needs to not be soft this game to have a chance. Ryan is a little spicier. This is from Ryan, listener Ryan, Ohio State fan. The line is at -7.5. I've been told it started at -9. Vegas knows. In the back of everyone's head, you know. Winning against Ohio State is something you can't do year after year. Ask Clemson. If Corum is out, it will get ugly. I think he will play, but it's Jim Knowles now. I'm not worried about the trenches. We are not soft. We never were. I'm not looking at the past week of struggle games for either team.
This is juicy.
Neither of them wanted anything on tape. Jim Knowles is going to throw stuff at JJ he's never seen in his life, and he has trouble making throws to wide open receivers. CJ Stroud will secure his Heisman, and Michigan has to pray they get some help to try to get in. 45-22, Ohio State.
I mean, I love the analysis. Very detailed.
I love going extreme. The only thing I will say is like to him, like they never were soft. Like they were 100% soft as hell last year. They were
soft last year.
They were soft last year, which is what they have to prove this year. What happens? Then my only kind of juicy rivalry banter that I would give is I respect this program a lot. There's nothing to really hate about the program, but I think we all can agree the two of you included, there's really nothing to like about the state of Ohio. I was thinking about like things that
Cedar
are good.
Point. Cedar Point's cool.
I wrote that down, and that's basically like in the ocean. Cedar Point's basically in like a body of water, a lake. It's not even attached to the mainland of Ohio. Ohio's
Dana
just
Beers.
Ohio's a poop hole. Cincinnati
Joe
is
Burrow.
there you go. I was thinking the same way. They have Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. That's kind of cool,
Pro
but
Football
also
Hall of Fame.
Cincinnati.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Cincinnati is like almost in Kentucky, so I'll give that more to Kentucky. And then my last thing is the people that grown adults, like 30-year-old men, crossing out M's and refusing to say the word Michigan is like laughable dumb. I can't believe that that's still a thing. And I was the first one to say when Brady Hoke did the whole Ohio bit, I thought he was a big bumbling idiot. Like just say the school. I just still can't believe that like people I would normally respect still cross out M's. Like the Twitter account crosses out M's and Ryan Day won't say the word Michigan. I just don't get it. It's so dumb, and I don't know.
Wyatt goes to TTUN.
Yeah, they've brainwashed Wyatt.
They know what it means.
Thankfully, Wyatt was born in Michigan, so you know he's still a nice, normal guy. But they've even brainwashed him. He will not say the word Michigan, which is insane.
He'll kick your ass.
He will.
I still think I could take him.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fake muscle. It's
How did this turn into a Wyatt? I'll beat that out so people
just
don't
kidding.
know.
Yeah, that's
I
a
know his
joke.
personal issues.
I
could
just
take him.
I can't believe people do that stuff
Could
still.
mentally rattle him.
It's just such a joke that people won't even say the team they're playing. So I hope one day that'll go away.
Give us your prediction, Grant.
You want me to go first? You guys want to go first? You guys go 1st
I'll go first.
I'll go
Ohio
first.
State 38, Michigan 28.
38-28 from Alex.
I'm assuming running backs are not full strength.
I'll go 31-23 Buckeyes.
Wow.
Cover.
It makes me feel a little bit better that you guys aren't bolting into the 40s for points, because if they get to 40, I think this game's probably over. I'm going to make this prediction assuming the running backs are decently healthy. So if they aren't,
Crazy to say.
this changes. Like, good enough. So, last year, I was a coward. But rightfully so, because they hadn't won in forever. And I was like, I'm not just going to sit here and try to pretend to the Michigan fan base I actually think they're going to win this football game. And this year kind of feels more confidence, but you haven't won in Ohio Stadium since 2000. That's gross to even say out loud. Since the year 2000, it's been 22 years. Multiple presidents have come and gone since then. So we sit here today with people banged up. 30-29, Michigan. 1 point win in the horseshoe. They punched their ticket to the Big Ten East Championship game.
That's bold.
Versus Iowa.
Versus Iowa.
Fair.
They have to prove. Ohio State's got to prove they're tough, and they might, and it might backfire. But right
I don't
now,
know. I think both teams aren't very good.
I just don't.
You listened
But I
to
guess-
Flindy this week.
I guess.
Oh.
I guess we go into the college football playoff talk, Alex. That leads right in. Like, I guess then, who are you? Are you just comparing them to Georgia, or are you comparing them to like the rest of the college football? Because like, what is very good this year in college football?
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
So Georgia's like, I feel like Georgia's more elite.
Georgia's him.
Georgia's elite. I think both these teams are very good. Ohio State and Michigan. I think they're very
Yeah,
good.
they are
football
very
teams.
good.
Yeah, thanks. So we
If we're
just
comparing.
They're
So
good, yeah. They're just they're not
2v1
as good
here.
as the two teams last year.
Friend of the podcast, score prediction.
Michigan, Ohio State.
You think? Wait, Alex, you think?
30.
Hold on. 35-30, who wins?
Ohio State.
Friend of the program, Ben, has
Michigan
said
fan.
Ohio State victory.
Alex, you think both Ohio State and Michigan teams last year are better than the two iterations this year?
I think Michigan's team last year would beat Michigan's team this year by 14 points.
Oh, I completely disagree with that.
Well,
I don't. Their defense last year was phenomenal.
you had Aiden Hutchinson and Ojabo.
I was, but okay, we'll find out
And
in this game
Haskins.
because we've
and
learned.
Haskins. You had depth at running back.
You
Guys,
don't have a
depth.
QB, but you don't have a QB
Guys.
anyways.
I think that might be a
You
little.
have a
over-
younger, sexier Kate McNamara at your quarterback.
No,
Kate
but I think
McNamara makes that throw to Schoonmaker in the fourth quarter.
I
That
think
wasn't Schoonmaker. That was a backup. Team.
Oh, you're
I think this defense this year is just as good, if not better. They just don't have the flashy names. Like all the stats have been better, and they didn't give up nearly as many points
They
along the
played
way.
much worse teams.
way worse teams.
All right, but we will see. We'll learn
find
this.
out.
We'll learn this
If you
week.
get 7 sacks on Saturday, then we'll know that they're better.
If I watch Aiden Hutchinson make a grown man look like a little child, which I won't because he's not playing, but I just don't
On
see
Sundays.
something like that happening.
I
Actually,
do
this
feel
week.
good. I think the secondary is better. 'Cause, I mean, they had to start Vincent Gray in this game last year, so I think
I don't
they
feel good about
upgraded.
Michigan's secondary in this game.
Just because of the opponent, or you just don't.
Well, just because of what I watched when
the
Keon
opponent.
Coleman played against them.
Yeah, but I've already. But here's the thing with that, if Marvin Harrison wants to have 200 yards and
He
3
will.
touchdowns, that's fine. That's still only 21 points.
If you can run the ball.
Yeah, which I'm fully
And
planning that they're going to be
Coleman
able
and
to.
Edwards are going to be 50%.
But you got to score in the red zone, Grant. You got to get it
if-
in there.
If Coleman and Edwards are 50%, Michigan lost. They probably lose by 20. Like it's just that's what it comes down to.
Oh.
So I'm caveating all of this.
So
yeah,
you're
if
telling
you-
me to sprinkle Ohio State minus 7.5 just in case.
yeah. If you could outline if Corum's out, because if you take CJ Stroud off of Ohio
Like
State,
minus 19.5.
if you take CJ Stroud off Ohio State, it's the same thing. Like
I
Michigan
think
will
I'm
not
just
be
going to put my bank account money line Michigan just so I have interest in the game.
that'd be fun.
But Evan, if they want to be a fat little payout,
I don't give a shit.
it'd be electric.
All right.
You're going to cheer for that scumbag university.
Wow.
I might.
Alex.
I bet on Michigan in the playoff last year. That didn't go well.
Or is Or is Alex going to be doing it to Jinx? Is he just trying to reverse Jinx and be like, oh, I picked them to win, wink, wink.
I really don't know who's going to win.
We moved to Indiana, Michigan State. I know people are getting antsy there because
We don't really need to talk about MSU, Grant.
their guests
Fire
are
Ross Els.
We certainly
Shoot
don't
him
need
into
to
the
talk
sun.
about-
Ross Els needs to be fired immediately.
the guests are rolling in on Thanksgiving night, but I did want to quickly ask you guys some questions about this game. Where does this loss rank in the Mel Tucker era?
It's the worst loss in the Mel Tucker era. And it's not even close.
No recency bias. Worst loss.
I'm going to go
100%.
second still.
What's the first?
Just the Ohio State beatdown last year was so devastating. I'm not over that one yet. Just
But
because of how
Ohio State is
disgusting it was. Yeah, it's fine that we lost.
We've
It's
all been
how
there
we
before.
lost.
We've all gotten blown out by Ohio State. It's just like another week
But
for them.
Evan, that could have been 100.
They hadn't won a Big Ten game in 2 years.
That could have been.
And you blew a
100-0.
17-point lead in the second half.
It was very discouraging.
You missed a 22-yard field goal to win the game.
Listen, it was discouraging. It's easily the third worst MSU loss in my life. Michigan State blowing a lead to Illinois, similar type fashion. With
And that got a guy
Mark's-
fired.
Yeah. No, Mark quit.
Well, okay, yeah.
Mark had better kickers on his roster.
Yeah. Now wins with the kicker on that roster.
Okay, so worst from Evan, top 3 for Alex, top 2 for Alex in the Tuck era. I want to know if you guys have any theories or have seen anything on Peyton Thorne running to the sideline every play. My big brain like conspiracy was like, is it because Mel Tucker thinks if he like screams the play in Peyton Thorne's face then Thorne won't have the nuts to go check out of it at the line of scrimmage and run an opposite one.
Maybe. That's
why?
a great idea.
Because why else would a coach just not say why they're doing it?
He's trying to prevent Thorne from having time to check out of plays. That's it. I'm going with that.
That's a genius move.
No,
yeah, he's
intimidating
so bad.
him.
You have to check out. You have to check out of them.
I don't know, Evan, because
It had to be a communication issue with like the headsets.
I've heard in previous games that we've had troubles relaying our signals from the sideline.
Jay Johnson's such a offensive coordinator.
I'm not sure I'm ready to put all the blame on Jay. I think Peyton deserves some blame too.
I'm all in
the
on
entire
Jay.
staff.
Of reading the play from the sideline, you're putting blame on Peyton Thorne on that situation?
No, Peyton Thorne's checks are shitty. And even in this game, he just kept trying to do too much. Try to throw a deep ball on every second down.
Hindsight. Just call good play so we don't have to freaking check out of it.
He had a guy on fourth down, Evan, and he
That
threw a
makes
deep
a lot of
ball
sense.
into double
Same
coverage.
stupid ass middle school run game that we do in the first quarter, that we do in the fourth quarter. Like, you run the same exact run play like at least 15 times. It's idiotic.
We stink.
I cannot.
I mean,
We're just
pipe
trying to
down
get to the
back
same
there.
areas. You're trying to get to the same areas. You have to change the blocking concept.
Not to
I don't
tee
want
you
to
up,
dive into this game too much.
not
I
to
really
tee you up even
Pisses
more.
me off.
Not to tee you up more, Evan, because you're already hot and bothered. But can you believe the audacity of Jay Johnson to call another slow-moving 4th-and-1 play after the Michigan game debacle?
Which one was
What
that?
happened? What happened? The counter pitch play on 4th-and-1 from the logo that took
that was
a
in
year.
like the first half.
That took a year to develop. I at that point I was like, this guy doesn't learn from his mistakes. So whatever Evan says mean about him, I can only endorse. I'm not going to say it myself, but I can't refute anything Evan says about this guy that he did it again.
I'm cool with him being fired. There's
I'll
plenty
be
of deficiencies everywhere else.
If
too.
he needs help packing his bags, I'll be the first one to start boxing.
It's a guy's career, Evan. You can't be. So
I don't give
brutal
up
about it.
He will find a new job.
Yeah, they usually do.
Maybe.
A bright spot, Keon Coleman looked really solid again. Kept making plays all over the field.
Still good.
And you have to
Still
be
good.
happy that you get him at least one more year. He's locked in for next year. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, but Jay Johnson
Plus,
and
he has
Ross
an
Ells
incredible
need to be fired.
basketball
Jay Johnson,
season.
Ross Ells, first ones to go.
It'd be a
Bye-bye.
big off season for Mel.
Another bright side, with 5 minutes left to go in the game, you guys did put together a really phenomenal drive to win the game. It just special teams hurt you there. But that was good to see. Game on the line, went 5 minutes of clock, milked it down to the wire. Doesn't go well, but at least that drive was nice.
Mint Money Podcast score prediction for the big game on Saturday and the
God,
noon game.
People are rolling in right now.
A buck nuts. It's not even going to be close. Not
Mint
even
Money's 42-21. Not even going to be close.
We know Cody is an Ohio State fan. He admitted that in the
Michigan
text.
corners don't have the dog in them. Ryan Hartline's group does. I know we don't get in the lines on this podcast, but Ohio State minus 7.5 is the freest bet you're going to get all year.
We discussed that a lot.
Making money. That's how you make money.
All right, Peanut Gallery needs to pipe back down. Grant's got important questions.
20.
Sorry. Cheers to episode 98.
Vanderbosch.
Think of a player that wears number 98 in Detroit sports. Kevin Gardner.
So good.
That's so
No hesitation. All right. But yeah, so Evan said that the travesty of this game was 24-7 at the half. It was 31-14 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Another positive, only have 2 points left. Elijah Collins had a really nice game, so good for him to have a good senior night, senior day thing. So I guess good for Elijah Collins.
He did cut back to the left hash on the final play of the game instead of just going down in the middle of the field, which would have made the PAT attempt a little easier. Not that our kicker should have missed.
No, but your guys' kicker made one from the left hash earlier in the game, so I don't really know what. He already made one from the left hash, so if I was Elijah Collins, I would be like, yeah, dude, you made one earlier. Why can't you just make it again? And then the last stat I had, we talked about this, I think, last week, Evan. We were discussing the run game. Michigan State had 2 guys, not 1, but 2 again, that had nearly 6 yards per carry in this game, yet their split was still only 42 passes to 40 runs. I don't understand how you're passing more than you're running when you're physically dominating a team and you're up 17 and you're getting 6 yards per carry. So it just all goes back to this whole theme of the
Johnson.
I think that was a Jay Johnson expletive. But yeah,
Jay
I mean,
Johnson blows.
And I've met this guy, and I still think he sucks.
not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Shook his hand, but he sucks.
Okay, Michigan, Penn State, minus 18.5.
Penn State.
Well, I will not
What did I
pick.
say?
You said Michigan.
Well, Michigan State, Penn State, minus 18
Battle
and a
for the
half.
greatest trophy in of all sports.
Yes, over under 53 and a half. 4 p.m. FS1. Can you guess the announcers?
Jason Benetti and Brock Hurd.
I think
We're
they
not
used-
good enough
no.
for them, Evan.
No, they're on
They
Fox.
Fox.
Oregon.
Mark Helfrich.
Yep, and who's his partner? We've
Don't
talked
remember.
about this
Never
guy.
do. Does he get the big head?
No, he's
No, that guy was ESPN.
there's a little bit of family tree nepotism here. We've talked about this guy.
Oh, yes. It's not a Collinsworth son. It's the other son.
Oh, it's Iron Eagle's son.
Yes.
Noah Eagle.
Noah.
So, things to know about this game. Obviously, bowl eligibility on the line. In terms of availability, Parker Washington, best playmaker on Penn State's roster, wide receiver at least, out of this game. He had a huge game against Ohio State, so that helps Michigan State if you're looking for ways to pull off an upset. Evan,
Sean Clifford's still their quarterback.
Sean Clifford's still their quarterback. Evan,
Another way
your,
to pull off an upset.
your mental state. They always say to check in on your friends. Your mental state if MSU loses to Tom Allen and James Franklin back-to-back weeks to close the year.
You know, Grant, I haven't thought about that until now. The two
no.
worst coaches in the Big Ten. And
Brand
we listed both
McCaffrey,
of them.
number one, Evan.
Oh. Well, I haven't seen him yet this year. He hasn't popped up on my television yet, so I don't hate him. Just like Dickinson hasn't popped up on my television, so I don't hate him. Drew Timmy's number one right now.
Love it.
Tom Allen is a very close number two. Oh God, it's gonna be such a shitty way to backdoor into the quick lane bowl.
Any,
I'm not
coping,
going to the quick lane bowl.
any coping mechanisms you're going to have ready to go if you lose to those guys?
Yeah, alcohol.
Nice.
What game is 8:00 on Saturday? Oh, I'm a
No.
Lincoln Riley fan. They have a chance to go to the playoffs. I'll be dialed into the Notre Dame USC game Saturday.
Oh, you and Mitt and Money are going to be at each other's throats that game. Notre Dame, Cody.
Oh yes,
Grant, you're going to be here.
Yeah, I'm going to be pulling for Notre Dame as well. Cody and I are going to be just chest bumping.
All right,
I'm
me
gonna get
too
my
as well. I'll
USC
be
hat.
on the Irish.
I'm gonna get my USC hat.
Predictions?
No, I did want to. So this
Grant,
was
don't make us go through this.
it was weird timing. So I had wrote down because it was taking too long. I was going to ask you guys before the show, have we heard any smoke about when these suspended players were going to get a conclusion on it? It did come through today. I just wanted to open up to you guys if you had any thoughts on what was sent down from the Washington County.
What's the word?
It's not charges just means
They're getting charged. You know
We
who's
need-
pressing the
it's
charges?
gonna happen.
You know who's
A
pressing the charges?
A Michigan, fan.
Michigan
The
grab.
biggest Michigan slapper you've ever met.
Evan's getting out of hand.
No,
Evan's getting
it's
angry.
It's
You're,
fair.
You're
People,
speeding him up.
I just asking questions. I don't care. This case has gone. First of all, they've done a horrendous job of time management. It's been a month. It's gone on way too long. It's to the point during Ohio State week. I really don't even care about this thing anymore. I just felt like we had to ask, like, what do you think about the situation now?
Okay, first,
I wish it'd be over.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be charged, but it should be like a third party, like somebody like out of state that has like no bias either way in the
Yeah.
situation. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah,
And right now, like Alex said, they're just charged. They're not guilty.
yeah. They gotta
So-
go through. They gotta have a court date. I'm guessing that's how it works. We need time to describe what's about to happen in this. Use her legal knowledge.
we
But
don't
what's
need
gonna? Oh my god.
Bleep.
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 She's not going to listen to it this far in the show, anyways.
She might.
She's not going to listen to any of the show.
Garrett stops after we just do a weekly rundown, anyway, so it doesn't
Mercy.
even matter.
That's disturbing. That G does that.
Fans.
Predictions
listen to you on the
for this
Colorado.
game.
Predictions for this game. I will not predict Michigan State to lose to a James Franklin, Sean Clifford led team. So Michigan State wins 29 to 26. Game-winning field goal, redemption tour. Back door to the Quick Lane Bowl, guys. See you there.
38-24, Penn State.
Oh,
Michigan State has had a lot of success in
Covered.
this rivalry
basketball season.
of late, and Mel Tucker knows how to get these boys riled up. So you know what? Penn State 35, Michigan State 21. I think they just have too much talent for Penn
Cover.
State.
It's a nice
That
cover.
is a cover.
35-21. We're down more than 14.
18 and a half.
18.5 point spread.
Yeah.
We're bottom feeders. Oh no, we suck again.
Okay, quickly. College football playoff, I forgot. I just have a scenario. And tell me if you guys disagree with any of this. Right now, there's only 7 teams left to make the playoff, I would say. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, LSU, USC, Clemson.
USC's in over Clemson.
But those 7 teams still have a shot going into this week, I would say, to make the playoff. Now, this is my question as a Michigan fan, a nervous Michigan fan. Let's say what we all expect happens. LSU loses to Georgia, so they're knocked out because they're 5 right now. Crazy. They get knocked out. They get booted from this thing. You have a 1-loss USC and a 1-loss Clemson that both win their conference titles. Do both those teams get in over the loser of Ohio State, Michigan?
Easily.
Even Clemson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
So,
you're going brand versus brand now, and you're going against conference champions.
And schedule.
So what if we have a
hypothetical question.
What if we have a 1-loss TCU conference champion? They don't apply because they're not the brand.
I
they
agree
can't
with that.
lose.
Yeah.
They can't lose.
They cannot lose.
They have to win out.
You think that USC and Clemson would both get in over Ohio State as well?
If they both win out, like if USC wins out, their schedule down the backstretch is more impressive than a lot of teams.
Yeah, agreed.
Yes, both.
They're
People
finally
were bitching that they
they're
beat
playing teams now.
UCLA. UCLA was ranked.
I mean, they should be ahead of
was on the
LSU
road.
right now. The fact that LSU sits at 5 with 2 losses is the biggest joke in the playoff committee's entire history.
It's just nothing for you to get upset about because it doesn't matter in 2 weeks.
But it kind of does.
Well, they're
It
just
could
trying to
mess with
say that
things,
if LSU wins the SEC championship, that they're going to be in. That's all
Yes.
they're trying to say.
which
They're trying to
I
get
guess
two SEC teams in.
I guess it's fine. But yeah, it's so blatantly obvious having them at 5 right now when USC has been better this year. It's just crazy. But I'm just curious about what I need to root for. So obviously you need USC to lose. You probably need Clemson to lose if you don't win your game. It's just I kind of had thought Clemson would be out once they moved down to 9, but I now see a path if they just keep winning and they only have 1 loss, even though it was bad to Notre Dame. If they're an ACC champion and they're Clemson, they'll probably still get in because they won their conference title. Which is
Yeah,
gross.
your worst case situation, Grant, is Notre Dame beats USC. Helps Clemson's strength of schedule go up because they get higher. Helps Ohio State's strength of schedule go up because it goes higher.
Yeah, but you
And then
kind of
Clemson wins out and jumps you.
But you need, well, right now, the threat. USC is a bigger threat than Clemson because Clemson has farther to travel. I wouldn't rule out a world if Clemson wins the ACC title, Michigan loses by a field goal in Columbus, Michigan could still get in over Clemson because I think just the narrative of the ACC and Clemson has been so poopy this year and they got blown out by Notre Dame that it'd be close. But if USC wins out, they're for sure in because they've earned it.
Yeah, but we can't be dumb about how bad the Big Ten is. Like we're comparing apples to apples here. ACC's been bad. Big Ten's been bad.
Yeah,
Clemson's schedule is better than Michigan's schedule.
But then I guess they might look at, okay, Michigan's only loss was on the road to Ohio State. They lost, let's say they lose by 3. Again, hypotheticals, we don't know. Clemson's lone loss is a road blowout to Notre Dame. They might be like, well, just let me. I don't know. We'll see. But it also matters the game, how it finishes. The final box score does matter for all this stuff that's going to shake
We
out.
certainly will have lots of time next week to discuss playoff scenarios.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Glad that you're ready to move on because your team's
I
not
am.
involved.
I
Some
am.
people just love college football. Last 2 quickies, college hoops. You guys 2 massive wins against Kentucky and Villanova. I'll open up to you guys because Michigan State's playing some good basketball to start the year.
Yeah, just a good basketball program in general, always are.
Tyson Walker's playing very well. He's the leader on the offense right now. Not that he's
Scoring-wise, yes.
the dominating factor on offense, but he's like leading the offense and like ball movement and all that fun stuff, the fun jazz.
Best point guard on the team for sure.
Yes, not even close.
Michigan
even
State
close.
does have the best assister in the entire country, and only one player in the last 10 years has a better assist percentage, and that's John Morant.
Oh, through the first 4 games or
Sample
talking about the whole
size.
season?
Sample size.
Oh, okay. My bad.
saying.
My bad.
AJ
Sample
Hogarth
size.
My bad.
may not be great at scoring, but he's doing a great job dishing
On and
the
off the
rock.
court, because look at that Chubb Scout.
Okay.
I credit
just
Alex. You have to find stats to fit narratives, and I respect you doing that.
He had a
But
great
sample-
bounce back game after a
Sample
really,
size.
really bad game against Kentucky. He played really well against Villanova.
Yeah.
He hit multiple threes, something that you said he was incapable
He
of.
airballed a 3.
Well, everyone does.
Not
Yeah,
Tyson Walker.
the book's still out. I'm not gonna
You know who
again
doesn't
sample
airball
size.
3s?
I'm not saying he's a superstar. I'm not
Joey.
going to go there. But he had a good bounce back game.
Are you guys to the point? I guess the question I have then is: so going into this year, it was kind of like Indiana, Illinois. Are you guys saying Michigan State has every right to be in that discussion and should be pushing for a Big Ten title?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because cohesion and senior leadership matters.
I am curious
the
to see.
milkman.
I am curious to see with Michigan State. I do think. I don't want Spartans to get crazy and attack me for this. I am saying they are very good, and I told you guys if you had a Manny Bates type big man, really would be like, yeah, this team's for sure going into the Elite Eight. But I will say, I do wonder sometimes, like, does that cohesion, tight knit of Tom not taking transfers and like everyone's back this year help them in these early games versus the teams that are like putting all these pieces together? Like, I do think it's somewhat helps in these early games, but I still think they're very good. I am just curious to see how the playing field looks like towards the end of the year is all. That'd be my only question.
They just need one additional player outside of Tyson Walker to develop into a go-to guy by the end of the year. And I think Akins can easily be that guy.
Tweaked his foot. Might not play.
He can take a week off, Evan. That's okay.
End of the
Call's
year.
not that guy.
We are going to still play like 2 ranked teams this week, 3 ranked teams this week if we win. So it'd be cool to have them.
It would be cool to have him. I'd rather have him in March than in PKI.
Yeah. It's still early, but I do think, to Tom's credit, his stubbornness, like, it does help when your team has all this chemistry and they come back to start the year. Like, they all know each other. They're like ready to go, and you can tell this team plays like very well together. On the other side of the state, a team that is going to be, from all intents and purposes, battling again to get into the NCAA tournament. Based on what we've seen so far, it's still early. You have a 30-point win versus Pitt.
Michigan looks like poop.
Then you have a 30-point loss versus ASU. So just a crazy swing of a little preseason tournament they had. Then you squeak out a win versus Ohio on a crazy finish to regulation. I've never seen that. I didn't know that the clock doesn't start when the ball hits the rim. I feel like that rule needs to be changed because it feels like a rim and a body part should count similar. Like, it hit the rim, I would be like, oh, the clock's going to start. But I guess that is the rule. What this team is clearly missing, and it made me think of it when I think about Michigan State's success, is the guard play. You don't have a Xavier Simpson. You don't have an Eli Brooks. You don't have an Abdur Rahman. You don't have a guard that can just calm everyone down and run the show. I think Llewellyn and Doug can be better. Obviously, as the year goes on, I still think they'll get coached up and they'll get better. But I think that's the biggest glaring thing you see to start this year for Michigan is just the guys that have the ball in their hands bringing it up the court are just new to the team. And they have to rely solely on Hunter Dickinson and Jet, who are the only 2 guys right now as a Michigan fan you can really count on game in and game out to perform, and just hope they don't get in foul trouble. And then the question I had in my head as I was watching this team against Ohio, I was like, what would this team be without Hunter Dickinson coming back this year? Are we talking like middle of the MAC? Or like, where does this team rank if you take that guy off this team? It's crazy the impact he makes. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts to start their year or what they would be without him, but it's been a fascinating first couple of games. But you just gotta keep winning.
Well, I've always said Hunter Dickinson is overrated. He's a front runner. But yes, I agree with you. I think this team would be booty cheeks without him. I mean, it's just easy. I mean, against Max, he should score like 25 points. It should be an easy 2 points every single time. It's Nick Orr 2.0. Dump it down, baby hook. Give me my 2 points. Let's go back on defense.
Yeah, Michigan looks like cheeks. I don't have anything else to say other than that.
Thoughts on Hunter Dickinson?
Hunter Dickinson is what it is. He's not going to be any better than last year. He's not going to be any worse. He's just a really good college basketball player.
I was just wondering like where they'd be without him. What I've seen so far, like he's just
They would be.
But as if you're a Michigan fan panicking, look, I take it one game at a time. They haven't looked great. It's so early. I think they will get better as the year goes on. It's just like how good do they get? That depends on their guard play. We'll see.
It will get better as the year goes on. But your non-conference schedule, you have 3 daunting games coming up.
And this weird theory I have in my head, I just keep telling myself that Jawan, especially, like, not that he's going to give more effort this year, but it's like the one rare time you get to coach both your sons in college. Like, like you got to like take pride in that and be like, you know what, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna play hard defense. It's not gonna like go off the rails. Like I'm just selling myself on that as well as a narrative. They'll figure it out because like this is a once in a lifetime thing for them. Because Jet's probably only there this year. They're gonna want it to be a memorable experience. So hopefully
He's
they
a
can use
one
that
and
as some-
done. He ain't that good, is he?
Yeah, I think Jet's not gonna. I mean,
He's
Caleb
pretty good.
Houston. He's better than Caleb Houston already. So Caleb Houston
Better than Max Christie.
better than Max Christie through the beginning. Although Max Christie did have that Butler game, but Jet's done it every game. He's like an automatic double-digit scorer. Can shoot the three really well, and he just looks the part. And then last thing, Kate Cunningham injury. We won't talk about long term, but other than really unfortunate, I guess we're fully on board, fully tanking this season after that news came through.
Tank.
Yeah.
Tank.
Victor sweepstakes.
Victor sweepstakes. Unfortunately, it stinks. Might need to get Kate on the non-vegan plan. I don't know
And
if that's
Sadiq's
related.
on the trade block.
I did see a tweet about that. I did see a tweet about that.
How come?
No one says. Well, James Edwards said, "Don't believe everything you read."
Yeah. All right.
Reported
I
by
think
Cody
that's-
Wilkins.
I think that's the show. Obviously, have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
You as well.
Be safe.
You'll spend it alone just like I will.
I'll
Enjoy
be
Feast
spending it watching the Lions and then rolling into work, and they'll be back in Michigan on early Friday morning. Oh, that's going to be a
Favorite
4
part of
flight?
Thanksgiving dinner? Go, Grant.
Go. Hurry up.
Green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole. What a shot in the dark. Alex, go.
I explained in great detail last year how terrible Thanksgiving
So pick your
is.
favorite dish. Something that you're like, you know,
Well, when
this
all the
isn't
food
too bad.
usually tastes pretty bad, none of it's good.
Alex,
Shout
stop
out Donna.
Stop it.
Mine's pumpkin pies. So cheer.
Cheers with an S.
No, I'm only cheering myself.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Episode 98.
98.
Everyone be safe on the biggest bar night in America.
Jeff Goodman.
Yeah, for real.